Welcome back to the Maelstrom, ladies and gentlemen. We've got another Warhammer 40K battle report for you today. Blood Angels versus Necrons. We are continuing the campaign for Stulte missions. Today we are doing mission 2, which involves the food supplies on the planet. Those are represented by 3 objectives on the table. We are using the 2 gun emplacements without their guns, one there and one there. And then the Chimera represents a load of food that's in transit at the moment. Those are our 3 objectives. The Imperial player is trying to hold those because this is their system. They need the supplies. The Disorder forces, however, have seen to their own provisions. In the case of the Necrons, we don't need them. And we are trying to destroy them. So, the Imperial player receives 3 points for each objective he controls at the end of the game. And the Necron player receives 2 points for each objective he destroys. To destroy it, I've got to get in base contact with it in the movement phase and stay there for a turn. If I can do that, I count as having destroyed it. Kill points also come into play, and at the end of the game, whoever has more points is the victor. We're also using Line Breakers, Slay the Warlord, and First Blood. The Blood Angels got to choose their table edge, which is the far edge. They have 12 inches in to deploy their forces, and then the Necron attackers will be rolling on from their board edge. We'll be back with the armies. First up, we have the Blood Angel Defense Force, 2,000 points.
So for my Warlord and my HQ, I have a Librarian. He's a level 2. He has Terminator armor, Galleon staff, and a Stormbolter. His powers, he's got the Quickening, and he rolled Shield of Sanguinus and Blood Boil. Then for my troops, I have 2 squads of 5 Tactical Marines with Plasma Gun, and they're in Las Cannon Twin Link Plasma Gun Razorbacks. Then I have a 5-man tactical squad with a Heavy Flamer and a Combi Flamer, and they are in a Twin Linked Heavy Bolter Razorback. Then I have a 5-man tactical squad with a Melt-A-Gun, and they are in a Twin Linked Heavy Bolter Razorback. Then I have 5 scouts with camo cloaks and sniper rifles. For my fast attacks, I have 5 bikes with 2 grav guns, and 2 land speeders, 2 individual land speeders with dual heavy bolters. Then for my elites, I have a command squad with 2 Melt-A-Guns, and they are in a Twin-Linked Heavy Bolter Razorback, and 5 Terminators with an assault cannon. For my heavy supports, I have 10 Devastators with 4 las cannons and a veteran sergeant, and 2 Bell Predators with heavy bolter sponsons.
Alright, so there is the Blood Angels half. Next up we have the Necron Invaders. We have Nemesaur Zandric, and he's running with 5 Lich Guard with Hyperphase shields and Hyperphase swords and dispersion shields. We have 2 Triarch Stalkers. We have a trio of Wraiths with whip coils, and 3 Destroyers, which are standing in. They're actually 3 heavy destroyers for this list. I have 2 units of 10 warriors and 2 units of 10 immortals and 2 units of 16 warriors, and then 2 monoliths. So that is the Necron half. You have seen the armies and you have seen the table. We'll be back following turn 1. Blood Angel deployment is complete, waiting for the Necrons to arrive. The scouts started the game in this tower with an infiltration move. Have the men stretched down the flank here. Bikes and a Bell Predator along with the Terminators on this flank. Razorbacks making up the center along with the Heavy Flamer Tactical Squad. Devastators took up position. Are they in the building or on it?
On it. Okay,
so they're on the building there. 2 Speeders behind, and then Razorbacks continuing down the other side with the Bell Predator. You do have a lot of Razorbacks in this list. So that is the Blood Angel deployment. Necrons will roll on in the following video, and we'll show you Necron turn 1. Necrons have rolled on, leaving only the monoliths in reserve. They are deep striking again. The little block here moved on from the edge. These warriors decided they were going to be bunker killing heroes today and shattered this bunker. Killed 2 of the scouts in the inside, who then fell out back here, but collapsed that bunker. The heavy destroyers rolled on in this gap, which they vacated after firing. Fired down the gap here to these guys, destroyed their transport, killed 1 man, and that was unfortunately the Sanguinary Priest. The command squad is fine inside though, so that is First Blood and a kill, the first of the kill points. The rest of the army moved on in phalanx formation, running up. Had a slow trot. Everybody moved 2 or 3, except the Wraiths, who rolled a 6 for their run. So that is Necron turn 1, but the Blood Angel response is incoming. We will be back following that. Blood Angel turn 1 rolls to an end. The las cannon Devastators fired their weapons down the gap here. Scored 2 penetrating hits, one of which got past cover. It knocked my shields out and shook me, which I failed to stop with living metal. Las cannon from a Razorback here fired down into these immortals, scored a wound, failed my cover, made my 6-up reanimation. These guys took, I think, 7 or 8 wounds that got past their cover saves from the building, from stuff there. And then here they had no cover save, and I lost 2 guys, made all those 5 and 6-up, 5+ reanimations. So 2 warriors went down. Rough bit of luck there, but still early. All the Necron stuff is still out of range to shoot. We're going to see if any of the monoliths come in to change that a little bit and act as fulcrums. And we will be back following Necron turn 2. The monoliths arrived and were the heralds of death. The harvest has begun in earnest. Oh, everything I shot at died that turn. The Wraiths made their charge here and destroyed the Razorback. The guys are snap firing only, so that'll shut their flamers down for the turn. This bunker was exploded by the heavy destroyers. The champion and the banner bearer died inside. The 2 Melta-Gunners escaped and moved over here in an attempt to fight. In the coming turn, the warriors cut them down that came in from this monolith. The other monolith deep struck into this position, dropped the other warriors from the flank into the front, and wrecked the Bell Predator. Between the monoliths, we scored 2 hits on the building, killed 4 of the 10 Devastators, and then, well, the 5th one went down to the building collapse, because then I also rolled a 6 and collapsed that bunker as well. So stupid brutal turn for Xandric's followers. The Blood Angel response is coming up. We will be back following that. Blood Angel's turn 2 rolls to an end. Give him a break. The Dice Gods have decided that they are in the Necron's favor firmly this game. Bikes moved in here, knocked 1 more hull point out of this with their grav guns. One of them was killed by Overwatch from the dispersed heat ray, and then they failed their charge by the distance between the dead biker and him. So they would have made it otherwise. 3 warriors. Yes, you heard me right. 3 warriors. Terminators, Bell Predator. 3 warriors, and I didn't even have to make that many reanimations. Just horrible luck. These guys did score a couple of hits despite snap firing and put a wound on the Wraiths. The Devastators and the Las Cannon Razorbacks put 1 hull point in the monolith, and the Melta-Gunner here knocked this back cannon off. The warriors up front took 3 casualties, but the Blood Angels lost their plasma gunner in the process to an overheat. So horrible turn for the Blood Angels. Necron response in turn 3 is coming up. Necron turn 3 is in the bag. Shot up the bikes with the Immortals and the Heavy Destroyers. Got 2 of them. The Heavy Destroyers went in and killed another in close combat. Took no casualties in return, but the enemy stuck. Warriors here fired into the Bell Predator. Took 1 hull point out of it. Xandric and his lads fired on this small tactical squad to no effect. The Immortals, however, picked 2 of them up, and Xandric missed his charge by a mile either way. The Wraiths went into the Melta-Gun squad and the Landspeeder, put a hull point out of the Landspeeder and immobilized it, and killed 1 of the Marines with a Wren, took no damage in return. So they are tied up there with that Marine squad. They did break, but I rolled a 3 and he rolled a 1, so barely missed getting away. That whole phrase that we all let creep in every once in a while, roll anything but a 1. Well, there's the 1. This speeder took 3 glancing hits from the warriors, but shrugged 2 of them with a jink, so he's still kicking. The Monolith fired his Flux Arcs here, knocked a hull point out of the Razorback and killed all 4 Marines, but he went to ground and saved the Sergeant. So no kill point given up there. Flux Arcs did snapfire here and killed 1 of the Devastators. So that is Necron's turn 3. Blood Angel response coming up. Blood Angel's turn 3 is history. Fight here, Gong Show, nothing happened at all. I think I wounded him once, but he made his armor save. Terminators and Tactical Squad bullied on these poor warriors, tore them all to pieces. Charged them, busted all but 2 of them in melee. I did get 1 Marine, lost by 5, and rolled 2 ones, so we held all those guys up with us. They're using me as a bullet sponge. Down here, the Wraiths killed 2 more men. The survivors then broke and ran, fell back like 1 inch from the board edge. Lost a ton of warriors down here to shooting as well. Lost 5 or 6, I think, so lots of them. But that is turn 3. The numbers are slowly dwindling. The objective here is going to be burned to this turn for the Stalker being in base with it. And we will be back with Necron turn 4. Necron turn 4 rolls to an end. Gong show continues here. The Stalker did move around and flame the Scout Sergeant and finish the Scouts off. Monoliths repositioned slightly. We pulled one group of Immortals up. They fired and destroyed this transport. We moved the Stalker up. He fired on it first but failed to do anything. This group of Immortals marched up, fired and killed all but one of the Devastators. Just terrible armor save luck. Did some damage to the vehicles with ordnance blasts and killed all 5 of the Marines there. Well, killed 4, and the 5th one fled from the table. Combat, Wraiths knocked out this speeder. That speeder was knocked out by the Warriors in close combat. And we charged in here with Xandric and his guys. We lost 1 Warrior. He lost 2 Marines, and that was the extent of it. So we're going to see whose unbreakable wall breaks first. That is Necron turn 4. We're going into the Blood Angels half. Be back after that. Turn 4 rolls to an end, and the Blood Angels are going to go ahead and call it there. Both of the other objectives, food stores, were destroyed. One by the Immortals, one by the Stalker. They charged into these Immortals, killed 1 with shooting, but we killed nobody, and they killed nobody from attacks and hand-to-hand. Wraiths did take another wound from the Bell Predator's fire. Terminators and the leaders here fought it out. He tried to cast Force, which I canceled. He did cast the Quickening, but was unable to get any attacks through. He did damage Xandric once. Xandric made a reanimation. Terminator Sergeant killed this warrior again, made a reanimation. One of his power fists got through the dispersion shields, made a reanimation. The reanimations were just insane this game. The Sergeant did go down from the Lich Guard hits, and combat continued here to no end. So that will be a Necron victory. We will have thoughts linked below that are in the blog for after action reviews and army lists. And as always, we appreciate the time you spent with us today at the Maelstrom.